The Lord be with you. I'm Deacon Keith Fournier. Our first reading is taken from the book of the prophet Jeremiah. The word which came to Jeremiah from Yahweh as follows. Yahweh, God of Israel, says this. Write for yourself in a book all the words I have spoken to you. Yes, Yahweh says this. Your wound is incurable, your injury past healing. There is no one to plead your cause. For an ulcer there are remedies, but for you no cure at all. All your lovers have forgotten you. They look for you no more. Yes, I have struck you as an enemy strikes, with cruel punishment, because of your great guilt and countless sins. Why cry out? Because of your wound. Your pain is incurable. Because of your great guilt and countless sins, I have treated you like this. Yahweh says this. Look, I shall restore the tents of Jacob and take pity on his dwellings. The town will be rebuilt on its mound, the stronghold where it ought to stand. From them will come thanksgiving and shouts of joy. I shall make them increase. They will not decrease. I shall make them honored, no more to be humbled. Their sons will be as once they were, their community fixed firmly before me, and I shall punish all their oppressors. Their prince will be one of their own. Their ruler come from their own people, and I shall permit him to approach me freely. For who otherwise would be so bold as to approach me? Yahweh demands. You will be my people, and I shall be your God. And our response is taken from Psalm 102. When Yahweh builds Zion anew, he will be seen in his glory. He will turn to hear the prayer of the destitute, and will not treat their prayer with scorn. This shall be put on record for a future generation, and a people yet to be born shall praise God. Yahweh has leaned down from the heights of his sanctuary, has looked down from heaven to earth, to listen to the sighing of the captive, and set free those condemned to death, to proclaim the name of Yahweh in Zion, his praise in Jerusalem. Nations will gather together and kingdoms to worship Yahweh. In my journeying, my strength has failed on the way. And a reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew. And at once Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead to the other side, while he sent the crowds away. After sending the crowds away, he went up into the hills by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone, while the boat, by now some furlongs from land, was hard pressed by rough waves, for there was a headwind. In the fourth watch of the night he came towards them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. It is a ghost, they said, and cried out in fear. But at once Jesus called out to them, saying, Courage! It's me. Don't be afraid. It was Peter who answered, Lord, he said, if it is you, tell me to come to you across the water. And Jesus said, Come. Then Peter got out of the boat and started walking toward Jesus across the water. But then noticing the wind, he took fright and began to sink. Lord, he cried, save me. Jesus put out his hand at once and held him. You have so little faith, he said. Why did you doubt? As they got into the boat, the wind dropped. The men in the boat bowed down before him and said, Truly, you are the Son of God. Having made the crossing, they came to land at Gennesaret. When the local people recognized him, they spread the news through the whole neighborhood and took all that were sick to him, begging him just to let them touch the fringe of his cloak. And all those who touched it were saved. The Gospel of the Lord.